The minute we walked out on stage, something just switched. Out of nowhere, I walked on stage and it felt like I've done this 1,000 times. I come up stage and I was completely confident. I was walking around the stage, I was giving it a, come on, let's go, let's go. And I'm freaking up and down the stage like I was meant to be there.
Let's talk about finding bodybuilding first.
Yeah.
Like what was that moment like?
So it was crazy because obviously I started playing rugby for a few years, and you know, I really enjoyed rugby. You know, I really enjoyed the man aspect. I really enjoyed the team aspect of it because playing with rugby, bunch of rugby guys, and it was always older guys as well outside of my team. They, for the first people that I actually a little bit opened up to. They were the first time I felt welcomed into a team sport, because with rugby, it's almost like you go in the field, you hit each other, you hammer each other, and then you go to the pub for a drink straight afterwards, and you all laugh and joke about it. So with that dynamic, it took a while, but the team finally got me to come out of my shell just a little bit. And they kind of gave me compliments. Oh, dude, you're good at it. Come on, you're great. And every time they really believed, and they really got me come out of my shell just enough for me to feel like, oh yeah, you know what, I get it now. I get it. It's not just us playing a team on a field. There's camaraderie in it. There's fellowship. There's that in it. And I got that for the first time fully, and I really loved that. And I was like, you know what, I get it. I'm going to stand there and I'm going to take a hit for you, and I'm going to do that for you, and we're going to do it together. And rugby sort of got me into that premise of it. So when I wanted to be better at that. So I was always really skinny. You know, I was like 71 kilos, small, skinny dude. And I started going to the gym to really bulk up, because coach said, dude, if you're going to be taking hits by big guys, you're going to need a little bit more mass, or you're going to get hurt badly. So I was like, okay. Started going to the gym just to put on some more muscle. So that's all one thing led into another, because as soon as I got into the gym to start training for rugby, I started growing quickly. And the guys at rugby, they kept on noticing, going, dude, you're putting on muscle quite fast. And I was like, okay, no big deal, okay. I just love going to the gym and I love training. And they started noticing it. And basically, I met my wife Mel at the gym. We were training in Colchester, and we kind of just met at the gym and we started training together. And after like a few months, I think about 6 months over, she kind of said to me that, look, like she had more knowledge, a little bit more about bodybuilding and stuff. And she was like, have you ever thought about doing a physique competition? And I was kind of automatically, being a hardcore rugby guy, I'm like, what do you mean physique competition? Oh, you know, like bodybuilding competition. I was like, dude, I'm a rugby guy, man. I'm like, oh, macho, man, I don't do none of that. Going on stage with your pants on, what the hell's wrong? No. And even the idea of me stripping off in front of people was beyond anything I would ever do. This is so beyond my world. It would never happen. It wasn't even a question. It was like, no. So when, you know, she said it, I completely dismissed. I was like, no, not for me. So a few months later, the guys at the rugby pitch, when we finish the game, we go to the training room, we have a shower, and they were looking at me going, dude, man, you go physique, you're very symmetrical, you're very balanced. Like, have you ever thought about doing physique competition? I was like, what the hell, you too? What's this all about? Like, what's going on? Why is people saying this? So after a while, you know, it was coming up towards the end of 2013. And I kind of, you know, kept on growing, getting better at it, and sort of putting on the whole muscle and looking the part. And then she brought it up a few times about it, like, look, you better think about it, just think about it. And then at one point, I think one of the friends in my gym, then he competed at one of the local shows, and I think he won his class at it. And I was like, dude, I know I got more muscle than you. If you can win one, then hell, I definitely would win one. So I thought, actually, you know what, maybe this is something I would do. Maybe this is something that I want to give it a go. Let me see what it's about, you know. So I self-told her and said, look, yeah, you know, this bodybuilding thing, let's give it a try. Let's just see what to do. So we just kind of like, okay, we looked at the calendar, we looked at the shows around, and there was a show local to me, and the coaches are there. I think this was about towards the end of 2010. The show was happening in the beginning of 2014 in April. So I was like, yeah, there's a show there. Should we just like sign up for it? So that's what we kind of did. And from that point on, like, we signed up for it. And from that point on, I started looking into, okay, what is bodybuilding? What is this sport? What is this thing that they keep going on about, you know? And that's the first time my own life and introduction actually seeing what it is actually started.
I've been getting tons of messages asking about my health protocols ever since I did the world's heaviest marathon. The experience took a toll, and getting back to optimal health has been an absolute journey. That's where Marek Health have been absolutely essential. Their approach is beyond quick fixes. It's about long-term health and performance. They work with medical professionals to create personalized, evidence-based plans tailored to your needs, using pharmaceutical-grade treatments and cutting-edge diagnosis. Whether it's TRT, peptides, supplements, or like me, getting full health analysis to get you back on track, Marek Health provides everything that you need. And it's not just for athletes. If you're an entrepreneur or businessman like me, you might want that renewed focus, clarity, and energy. That's when Marek Health can get your brain performing at its peak. From comprehensive blood work to customized health plans, Marek gives you the tools to optimize your life. If you're ready to take control of your health, go to marekhealth.com and use code Mulligan for 10% off. The link's down below. I can't recommend them enough. And if you just wanted to get started, I would go and get your blood work done. Go get assessed, find out where they can help you. Use the link down below for 10% off using code Mulligan. Let's dive back into the video.
At what moment was you like hooked? Was there a specific, like you saw a show, you saw a particular bodybuilder, or you had an experience win or something?
I mean, my one is, we obviously, my training changed immediately because I was training for explosive work in rugby and stuff like that. The minute we said, okay, we're going to do a bodybuilding show, automatically I was like, okay, how do you train like a bodybuilder? How do you train? You have to train body parts, you have to train group, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to diet, you have to do, I didn't diet. And I'm like, yeah, I don't do that part. But I still understood the idea of training and what goes into it. So when people on the show were like, okay, I started watching YouTubes and started watching, shows that have happened on the Olympia and everything else. That was the first time I ever watched the Olympia on YouTube, a rerun. I remember it's 2013. He just won his third Olympia, and I looked at it, I was blown away. I was like, I didn't even know human beings could even look like that. It was so beyond. I mean, so Arnold and everything else, but that for me was it was mind blowing. I just like, damn. And that sort of got me into the idea of, maybe I like it. But I always thought to myself, I want to be big, but I don't want to be that big. The same thing with everybody. Oh, I don't want that much muscle. I want to be big though, but not that big. So I never really saw that as something that I wanted to do. I was like, yeah, that's nice, but I like it and it's cool, but I don't want to go that far. So I just want to do a local show and see how I got on. And I think it's until the point where we actually went through and we competed, and that was the point I got hooked on it. That was the point that it really sunk into me, and I was like, holy shit, like this, I'm good at this. This is something I can actually do. And if anything, people told me that more than I even believed in myself, because we did a local show, and we did the first timer show, which was just for people that have never competed before. And I remember, training for months for her. Mel, she put me through my training and everything else, and she sort of told me how, okay, muscle groups, what the muscle groups are, what they do, and how they connect to each other, how each one of them works, and every part of that. And we adapted my training to sort of be now bodybuilding training. So we were surprised how fast my physique grew during that period when I switched to bodybuilding, how well it developed into that. So when we did the first timers, I remember people were like, you sure this is your first time? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, if you say so. What? And I remember even being then, it was the idea of the training part wasn't the difficult part. The part we were more scared for was, you've never stood in front of anybody with your clothes off. You've never even thought, you hate the idea of being center of attention. Now you're gonna go on a stage in front of thousands of people, strip off, walk on stage with your pants and flex. That is nothing like your character at all. It's just nothing. We don't even know. We were so scared about, okay, how is this actually going to happen? How can this even be possible? So for months we were sort of going, okay, physique is coming well, but are you actually going to do it? Are you actually going to stand on stage? And the fear that was always the biggest fear was, are you going to stand on stage? So I remember backstage when we were about to go the day of the show, we were backstage and it was like, okay guys, first timers, get ready. You're starting the show, you're going on first. It took me 20 minutes to take my clothes off backstage. We were standing there, they were like, oh, come on guys, you gotta get ready. And I'm like, okay. And it was like, strip off then. 1 minute. And I was like, and they kept, we gotta go. And it took me 20 minutes to finally take my clothes off. I remember, even at the time we were in this sports hall, I remember I had to turn around, face the wall, and face the back of the hall and just look at the wall and then strip off. And I remember the time when I first stripped off, the whole room went quiet. And I was kind of like, oh shit. And I turned around, everybody was looking at me, and that was like, okay, crap. This is not good. And I kept on having my head like, okay, you've practiced this moment over and over again. Just do what you practice. Just do what you practice. And then they queued us up. We walked out on stage in front of loads of people. And the minute we walked out on stage, something just switched. I don't know. It just out of nowhere, I walked on stage, and it felt like I've done this 1,000 times. I come up stage and I was completely confident. I was walking around the stage, I was giving it a, come on, let's go. And I'm freaking up and down the stage like I was meant to be there. And we came back to the stage, we were looking, where the hell did that come from? And we looked at it, I have no idea. I don't know. And it just literally just felt like you felt at home on it. You felt at home on that stage. And I came out, I was like, I want to go back, I want to do it again. So I remember we did this first time show and I won the show that morning. And everyone was so impressed that the show promoters came up to me and going, man, you're the best first timers we've seen in a long time. The big boys, the open class is going to be on later tonight. Would you stick around all there and jump on stage with them as well and just see how you get on? And I was like, well, I already go what I came for. Yeah, we'll get to do it again. So waited all the way to the end of the night, got backstage and the open guys were pumping up. And I remember looking going, holy crap, these guys are big. Oh my God, these guys are big. And then one of the guys that was watching the show came out going, you know what, I think you're going to win this class too. And I looked at him like, what the hell are you talking about? Are you kidding me? He goes, no, I really think you're going to win this class too. Oh, yeah, whatever. So we go on stage and go on stage with the open class, did it all again, and ended up winning that class as well. And that was the moment I was like, what the hell? And I remember the promoter at the time going, oh, this young man, before he announced the result, he was like, oh, this young man came in that gym about 6 months ago. He started training, and I would like to say we now have a superstar, the new winner. And I was like, okay. And I remember coming off stage and so many people came up to me going, dude, you need to really think about taking this seriously because you actually have a future in this. This is something that you actually have a future in. And I was like, I was about to go back to rugby. It was just a trial. Let me just see if I like it or not. And people kept on saying that to me, say, dude, you got talent. You need to think about doing this. This is something that you could probably go all the way in. So yeah, so that just kind of just hooked for me at that point. I was like, okay, this is me. This is something I want to do. Yeah, okay.
Do you believe in destiny or anything like that? Like if you get on that stage, you get that message that you're supposed to be here.
Man, it's honestly, if onto those kind of moments, there's so many things in my life that led up to that moment that would have gone the other way and I would never have done bodybuilding. There's so many moments that it would have definitely it wouldn't have happened, And you think about all that coming up, but the last thing I ever thought I would ever be able to do would be the point that, knowing my personality at the time, it was to get on a stage and flex. It was so beyond my character at all, completely. It was something that I never knew that it could probably even possible. So the fact that it just kind of played out the way it did and things just lined up, fortunately, the way it did, and that happened. And then even all the way till now, every single time I'm like, it feels too perfectly aligned for me not to believe it, You get one life. You only get the one. There's no reruns. There's no, well, I'll start again. No, you get this one. There will never be the right time to do something. You have to make that happen. You have to go in there because a life going after a goal, whether you achieve it or not, is never a life wasted.